Hi, I'm Kimberly from the Fat Quarter Shop, and on today's Shortcut Quilt episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make the Fat Quarter Flowers quilt. You're going to absolutely love this, and it is great for beginners. We're going to be working with a technique we came up with using half square triangle paper and slicing and dicing. You're going to love this one, so stay tuned. You can download the Fat Quarter Flowers pattern in the description box. It's a completely free pattern. You're going to be working with 10 fat quarters and a background. So cut your rectangles out. On your fabric A and fabric B, you need to put them right sides together. And that is a really important step, so right sides together. And you want to make sure all of your fabric is ironed and there's no wrinkles in it. So we'll put those right sides together and move that out. You're going to take your 7-inch finished triangles on a roll paper, and we're going to cut sections that are 2 squares wide. You want to cut directly on the line. If you cut a little bit too big or a little bit too small, it's going to give you inaccurate results. So cutting on that line is important. And then you're going to place this square or this piece of fabric right on top of your fabrics, and we're going to put pins in place. You'll put pins anywhere there are not lines, so you don't want to pin along these diagonal intersections because they will be in your way. And I'm using Aurifil thread today. I'm using color 2000, which is my favorite color, and we're going to go to the sewing machine. I'm going to lower my stitch length to 1.5 using my Aurifil thread. I'm going to stitch on the dotted lines. So I'm going to stitch on this line, this line, this line, and this line. So let's go stitch. So having a really nice big flat surface helps your paper stay flat. So when you are stitching, it's really important that you stitch directly on that dotted line because that's going to give you accurate results. So you're going to sew all of those together, remove your pins, and we are going to cut on the solid lines. So what I like to do first is cut on all 4 sides on the outside. And again, cutting accurately is going to give you more accurate half square triangles. So all 4 sides first, and then I'm going to cut the center seam, and then I'm going to cut on the center line. So to pull your paper off, what I like to do is press right on that seam, and you've sewn really tight. Put your finger right at the edge and then pull like a band-aid. Just gonna pull it right off. And then the other side will come right off. You do the same thing. Put your finger right at the edge and just pull right on the edge. Should come right off. And we are going to press this and you will have a total of 80 half square triangles when you're done. So to press, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stack all 4 of my half square triangles I just made, and I'm going to set my seam. That just means putting your iron right on that seam and nice and flat press. And then I'm going to take each one and press toward the dark fabric. And you're just going to put the very edge of your iron right on that crease so it gets nice and flat. I do like to use steam. So set your seam, press toward the dark. And you notice I'm not rocking my iron a bunch. I'm just nice and flat. And you want to make sure that this is nice and flat and there's no puckers in that seam. So you're going to do all of that. And then we are going to clip off the dog ears. So I just like to clip off these little dog ears with small scissors and just make sure you don't cut into the seam at all. And again, you're going to have 80 half square triangles before we go to the next step. Now we're going to have some fun cutting up these half square triangles to turn them into this beautiful block. So each of your triangles should measure 7.5 inches, and you're going to pay attention to the alignment direction. Your half square triangle will go this way. We're going to line up our Creative Grids ruler, line up the very top line and the side line with 3 3/4 and trim. That's going to give you a print unit and a background unit. And again, I'm going to show you on this other color. Again, top line, 3 3/4 line, and that's going to give you another print unit and a background unit. So you're going to do that to all of your half square triangles, and now we're going to have some fun putting our units together. You're going to cut all 80 of your half square triangles just like this. I'm only showing you 2 colors so that I can show you how one of your blocks will come out. So we're going to take one background print and one print, set these aside for another block, and we're going to put these together just like this. You're going to make 4 just like this, and I'm going to demonstrate on one of them how we're going to do that. We're going to pin at the top and the bottom and in the center, and I'm going to go to the sewing machine and stitch with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I'm going to come back and we're going to press. So now we have all of our units put together, and you're going to have a background on the left and a dark on the right. You're going to have lots of different options of colors. You're going to turn your unit, and on the side that has 2 darks, we're going to trim so that that becomes a square. So we're going to line our ruler on the left and the top and cut right here. And we just chopped off this seam allowance, and that is the beauty of this block. You will never even notice it. It's going to give you less seams to match up, and it's going to give you a beautiful result. So you are just cutting that right off. So now we're going to lay out 4 units, and you're just going to want to use the same print. That's the larger piece, and all of the rest are going to be scrappy. And that is the beauty of this, is it's going to give you a big scrappiness, so when you're putting your units together before this step, nothing has to match. And so you've got this, and now what we're going to do is sew this block together. To do that, you will put your fabrics right side together, and you're going to stitch all the way down this line, and there are no points to match up. These intersections don't have to match. And then you're going to sew this final seam, and you're going to have this beautiful block. And you can see that these intersections don't have to match, and so it's great for if you're a beginner, there's nothing to line up. So make all of your blocks and we're gonna put it together. When you're done, you're gonna have 20 scrappy fat quarter flower blocks. You will lay them out in 5 rows by 4 columns. Press each row in opposite directions and then sew those rows together, and your quilt is gonna measure 52 by 65. I can't wait to see all of your quilts on social media, so hashtag Fat Quarter Flowers Quilt and pick up the beautiful Harper's Garden Moda fabric at Fat Quarter Shop. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to my Fat Quarter Shop YouTube channel.